No, I just styled it
Oh.
differently.
Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to VO Journey Academy Live. I'm home of Academy Voices as well. My name is Anthony,
I'm Gabby.
and we're voice actors. And
We
hot
are.
dog, we've got a cool news for you today. I was just telling Gabby, because her nose is deep into casting today.
Deep. So deep.
But we have hit 600 audiobooks.
Wow.
Yes, we have published 600
Wow.
audiobooks.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow.
That is a lot of
That's wild.
audiobooks, isn't it?
It is.
It is nuts.
Wow.
And
it takes a village.
It's funny, Gabby, is hey everybody, we've got Christian, we've got Ruben, Marilyn, Ryan, Paul, John, Ryan. Oh, I said that already. Sorry. Oh, I said John. Yeah. So thank you. So Gabby, what is it like, first off? Because you came into not necessarily from the beginning of the 600, the books, all of the books
Right.
published, but we've now published. We're getting close to 100 with you, so. But what is it like from your experience coming into and all of the the organizing? Because this is something I want to show, like the organizing you had to do. What is it like managing at least part of 600 audiobooks from an organization standpoint on your end?
So I think, man, it's a great question, but it's a tough question at the same time.
It is.
So, I really had to sit down and think about, the flow of the work, and how it's changing hands and passing through as we go from the process of posting an audition to casting an audition to assigning the final product to being able to then publish the product. So it's a lot. And one of the things that I realized very quickly is that we were lacking, some pretty critical pieces of information. So I had a spreadsheet that I had to kind of tear apart and redo. I have had to approach the books a little bit differently, because something that we're big on is write short stories, short to medium-sized stories, I would say. And what I was realizing really quickly is, yes, we've been publishing stories, but we also haven't necessarily been doing a great job of keeping track of what book those stories come from, so that upon completion of all the stories, there's a whole other book that can be published.
So back up.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of people don't know, that we, I found a way through building relationships and through building Academy Voices on how to basically publish parts of things as opposed to publishing an entire book.
Right.
We could I was able to build something to bypass, because most of the places you have to have a book tied to the audiobook, right? So we found a way around that. And
is
so
it really a bypass, though? I mean, because really, you think about it, right? A short story that's part of a larger text.
No, but typically what happens is all, like Amazon, for example. Amazon requires that you have a Kindle book in order to have an audiobook. And those have to be tied together. So I had to work through figuring out how to get around that, because we just, at the moment now, do we have the ability to publish books and stories? Yes, we do.
But,
all right. But we primarily publish audiobooks.
Right.
So, I had to figure out a way around that. And I
Makes
did,
sense.
which is kind of what opened up the door for everything we're doing. But so you're talking about, like, for example, fairy tales or things where there's multiple stories, but they're part of a larger anthology.
Exactly. Yes. Right. And there's so many of those, and that makes for some amazing opportunities. It's fun for me now too, like, as I see people's names, in the chat, and I see people who, hang out with us on a regular basis. I see names that I'm like, oh, okay, that's somebody that, I just cast for such and such, or, whatever the case is. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Um,
Yes.
it's also really great to see the, progression of actors, people who have been students at Avia's Journey Academy, grow their skills and then start to audition. And even within the auditions, right, I see the growth. I see them get better and better and better, which of course brings them one step closer to casting a project. It's great.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It was interesting because I was just finishing a podcast, and the 300th episode of Avio's Journey podcast.
Wow.
And I was talking about, that journey and kind of the new journey that we're on, and you and I are on together with Angela, and moving forward. And
Yeah.
it's interesting to me how, the transition of Academy voices happened, and how that transition helps voice actors in general, because,
Yeah.
it's I early on when we started Academy Voices actually been around for about 4 years.
Okay.
People don't know that. However,
I
it was
didn't know that.
not in its current form.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
it's
that's
not
pretty
in its
funny.
current form, right?
Okay.
I had wanted to build something many years ago to bring work to voice actors, right?
Mm,
But in the form that I had been, I wanted to do everything. I
okay.
wanted to do commercial, I wanted to do, radio, I wanted to do e-learning, I wanted to do promos, I wanted to do anime, I wanted to do video games, I wanted to do audio,
All the
everything.
things. Yeah.
Everything, right? And I failed. It didn't work the way I couldn't get work. I couldn't
Mm,
bring in work. No one knew us. No one knew
yeah.
we existed. I had
Yeah.
many voice actors really thrilled because, we were doing this as a community, as a
Mhm.
voice actor led
Yes.
platform that you don't see anywhere.
No, not
And
really.
and so I had many voice actors that were excited, but there was no work.
Dope.
Right. And as time went on, I started to really look back at my journey as a voice actor.
Mm,
And I remember, audiobooks have always been at the heart of at least my journey. And, it was always a passion of mine. The reason I got into voiceover in the first place is because I wanted to be an audiobook narrator.
right.
I loved listening to audiobooks, especially like personal development, self-help, things like that. I always enjoy learning, as we
Makes
both do.
sense. Yep.
And so, that was something that I loved. So that kind of led me to, well, why not do that with Academy Voices?
Right.
Right? And pick that niche. And then there was a couple of other voice actors who had, kind of reaffirmed that idea. Well, we should, maybe change direction
Mm,
and, go into audiobooks. And it's interesting because I want to ask you about this and your journey as a voice actor, is because I know in mine we've taken it as well, but how many times have you had to make major course corrections in your business? Right? Like major ones, like you got to make a correction because it's just ain't working.
yeah. I would say it's a once every like 5-year thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd say about once every 5 years there's like a major shift, and I've got to go, "Oh, okay, time to shake things up." And it's
Yeah.
scary. It's scary because all we can go off of is our instinct. Partial like okay, so partially it's data, right? We have some data to support. We know what we're talking about from a monetary standpoint. Are you okay, buddy? You are running like crazy. And then also, but it's a lot of gut, it's a lot of instinct, it's a lot of just going out on a limb and saying, all right, this is what I'm gonna do next. And we don't know. We don't know if it's gonna work. We don't know. We can't, right? We can't 100% say, okay, this is definitely gonna yield the results we want. We try it. We try it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Yeah,
Ryan had a
Ryan had a
question.
question. Mhm.
If we have a PD, what does he mean by the PD?
Yeah, I don't know.
If we have a public domain book
Ah.
that we re-edited
Oh.
for the purpose of recording on ACX but haven't started yet, would it be possible to bring it over to Academy Voices instead? Ryan, listen, we're always open. That's the wonderful thing about this. I mean, the question would be,
Mhm.
have we done it already? But we're always open
Mhm.
for, any sort of works. Yeah. So, just contact me, send me a message, tell me what it is and what's going on, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's interesting too, because when it comes to public domain, you have various stories that are told from the perspective from different authors, different translations, different,
yes.
edits of something. And so sometimes it is possible to have, the same book just with different authors involved.
And again, see, Gabby still has all of her hair, but she's gonna lose it when we
Don't
go
come for
when
my
we
hair,
go
man.
when we
No,
go
no.
into the when we're translating all of the audiobooks
No, no.
into different languages. Because I own all of our books in different languages. I
Listen,
want them in French, I want them in German, right?
and
I
I
want
love
them
that
in
idea.
Spanish
I
and
think that's phenomenal. I
yeah.
also say to that, if you are bilingual, we need
Mm,
you. We
yes.
need you, we need you,
Yes.
we need you, because bilingual areas of these sorts of projects really need to be, organized and at least partially participated in by people who can command that language in a way we cannot.
No, absolutely,
So, yeah.
absolutely. I think another interesting. So, anyways, so all that being said about the course corrections, I made a course correction, right, with Academy Voice, and I said I'm going to totally change the entire website again,
Mm,
and now put it as right audiobooks.
yeah.
But here's the thing. The thing was, is I was like, I got to figure out how to make money for people
Mhm.
because no one wants to be a part of something,
Right.
right, that they can't make any money. And I had a voice actor, Casey Miracle,
Mhm.
who was really interested in being a part of this as well. And she recorded a book, Hansel and Gretel. That was like
Oh,
the first
well, I
audiobook
mean,
we
that's a
ever,
classic.
right. The first audiobook we ever published was Hansel and Gretel.
Nice.
And the idea is to try to publish this audiobook, try to get it to as many retailers and libraries as we could, and
Right.
then to experiment to see, can we make any money?
Mm,
And some time went by and I totally forgot about it, as it does, right? As business
right.
goes on. But about a year later, I was really again racking my brain how to make Academy Voices work. Again, I skipped back some, how to make Academy Voices work. And that pulled that. I said, oh, I remember that. Pulled it up, and lo and behold, it made like 15-20 bucks.
Hmm.
Okay. And now you might be thinking, wow, Anthony, that's not a lot of money, right? With one audiobook.
Sure.
But that's where, and this is why I think this journey will be super helpful for voice actors to follow as well. Because that's where you have to try to look down the road.
Yeah.
Right. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if that's 20 bucks, what if I have 1,000 of those? What if we have 1,000 audiobooks?
Right.
What if we have 10,000 audiobooks?
Right. And
Right?
mind you, you're not talking about $20 once. You're talking about $20 every quarter.
Right.
You're talking about repeated,
Right.
somewhat consistent,
Right.
just out of curiosity, and I don't know if this is a number you would have just off the top of your head, but like some of Academy Voice's top earning talent, what kinds of numbers are they seeing, on a quarterly or maybe annual basis? Do you have a rough there of what that might
Yeah. I
be?
mean, we have some people who are making between $500 to $1,000.
Wow. For a book they recorded who knows when.
Well, okay, so this is a good point. So yes, a book, but the key to growth in this field, and I think in royalties in general, is to have multiple
Right.
ones.
Right.
Multiple ones. So many of these, well, we have many voice actors who might not make that much, but they're still making $300 to $400 a quarter. So if you
Yeah.
think about it, if you make just $300 a quarter, that's 369. So that's $1,200 a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's $100 a month. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that you can add to that because
Yes.
we have so much work and you
Not even
want
funny.
to add. So here's the secret to a secret, but it's bulk. You want to have a lot under your belt. And I had this idea when I first started being a voice actor, like I was sharing earlier, but I realized I could not do it by myself. Like I could not do 1,000, 2,000 audiobooks
Right.
in the amount of time that I needed, like that I had to actually do it. And I knew that I couldn't do it within 7 years, which was the
Mm.
current years that it allowed you to, at least on ACX, because they were the only ones doing it. So
Interesting.
that was another big reason why I changed it from 7 years to 20 years.
Okay.
Because and it was kind of wild, right? 20 years, but I did because I wanted voice actors to really have an opportunity to build an actual career and a life with royalties,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So my dog agrees. Yeah. Yeah, good afternoon, Gabby's doggy too. Yeah, so that was anyway, so all of that moving to
That's
this
great.
point where I was going to move into this section of it's now watching voice actors themselves
Mm.
on their journey and what choices they're making. I know both of our dogs are hearing each other, but on their journey of figuring out how do I build my voiceover business and long-term financially,
Yeah.
not just all the things, because at VO Journey Academy, we constantly teaching all of the nitty-gritty, all
Oh,
of
geez.
the things
Always.
that you have to do on a daily basis. But
Right.
it's the long-term vision for your business, right? As a
Right.
voice actor, how are you looking long-term and watching people? Gabby, what do you think? Is Gabby basically right now is, well, what's your job, Gabby? What is your job right now?
I mean, I would say casting director, right?
Yeah, okay.
That's
But you also have the job of curating
yes.
our stories at the
Yes.
moment too. So, that's a big thing. So as you were talking a little earlier, it's interesting to watch or let me ask you this. How are you seeing people progress? Right? Or voice actors and the decision voice actors are making. Cause I think this is fascinating because voice actors don't get to talk about this a lot because they're not
Mm-mm.
on the side we are on right now.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're not
Yeah.
like most voice actors, especially when they're coaching, they're still voice actors and they're
Right.
coaching. But how many of them are actually working publishing companies
Mm-hmm.
and building them? So watching voice actors, Gabby, making decisions, right? How just think about that for a moment. What any interesting or observations with that?
I think
Like, do you see any voice actors being like, I'm going, balls to the wall. I'm going to build this thing. I'm going to utilize this
I
platform.
do.
Other voice actors very timid or they're very,
I
I don't.
see. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. I do. I see a handful of people that audition for almost absolutely everything because I think they understand that cumulative model that we're building.
How many, Gabby, would you say out of our 400 narrators that we have now?
5.
5.
Mm-hmm. 5. I could name them. Yeah, there's
What
like
do you
5
think
people.
about that?
It's low. It's super freaking low. I need more people.
Right, out of 400.
I had
Right?
today because I cast 14 projects today, and I had one
Wow.
person book back to back. And it was partially because I didn't have enough choices inside of the audition, and I was like, "Man, he knocked it out of the park for both." So, there you go.
Like, I would say, would you say right now, because it won't always be like this,
Mm-mm.
because it is growing. I mean, we are
Yeah.
growing, like, there is more, there are
Mhm.
more people auditioning
There are. I'm
than there
seeing
were.
some really
Right,
lovely new people, which
right,
is
right,
exciting. Yep.
right. But right now, I still feel this is just this is such a time. It's like getting into a business right when it's at the beginning and it's really starting to grow,
It is.
and you're at a moment. I tell people a lot, like this was like, when you got involved in Fiverr about 8 or 9 years ago.
Mm.
right? People, when it was still a lot of
You were on
controversy
the
there,
cusp
but
of something.
but there
Yeah.
was a lot of customers and not a lot of voice actors.
Right.
Now it's like
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah, yeah,
lot of
yeah, yeah,
voice
yeah.
actors and not
Not
enough
enough
customers.
clients. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But at the time, so there was a lot of us making a lot of money there.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. So you're seeing that. So you're only seeing about 5 people. And what do you think about, like, I mean, okay, so you're seeing that, and
Mhm.
do you feel like the people who, or they're people very particular too about what they're choosing to do, and how is
There
that?
are some people that are, yes. There are some people that only go after a specific genre. Maybe it's because it's just what they like or because the stories are more familiar to them for whatever reason. So yeah, like I have a handful of guys that like when they see sci-fi, they are on it. And then I've got my mystery crew and I've got my fairy tale crew. And so it is really funny to see some of those yeah, to see some of that. Absolutely.
What do you think about building a brand, or what do you think about that choice? I mean, we can't
Oh,
make
I
a,
think it's brilliant.
do you think it's brilliant for people to only choose one area?
I think it's wise to diversify somewhat. I don't think you should exclusively stay there, but it can be or could be a very, very smart strategy to focus on a particular area and then also promote yourself to new authors and to current authors, right, who are writing and creating that kind of content. It really can allow you to have a name for yourself. A lot of spicy audiobook narrators do that.
Yeah.
So it is very wise.
Yeah. Oh, I just put up a spicy audiobook audition today from
I
a new
saw
author.
that. I saw that you
Yeah,
snuck
yeah,
it
yeah.
in while I
I
was in the
know.
middle of casting, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" I was
Like,
like, "Why is Anthony on my casting sheet?
what
It's my
is up
casting day. Get
here?
out of
What
here,
is up
Anthony."
here? Yeah, I currently work with a lot of the, like, just sometimes we have the
Yeah.
authors and some of them contact me, so I'll put that stuff up. But yeah, now that, yeah, that's, I mean, because we were all talking all about picking a niche and picking a brand.
Mhm.
But I will say though, so just going back though, real quick though, it's important what Gabby said too. This model, you're building your business
Yeah.
and having royalty share be a part of your business, which I think is absolutely vital. There's so much stuff about how bad royalty share is out there because of ACX, but it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be like that. And we're proving that because ACX and Audible is they're so encapsulated that no one can find anything on that platform unless you are unless the author is spending a lot of money to promote
Right.
the book, or they're a massive big seller and they're not gonna give you royalties for that anyways.
Well, 2 things that I wanna say about this before we start to wrap for a Monday. One is that going back to, talking about the genre and being audio specific, the other thing you potentially get a chance to do is tie yourself to an author. And if you
Mm,
become because remember, the audience works in the same way, right? The audience is very genre specific in terms of what they look for and what they seek out. So the audience has the ability to make you their favorite narrator in the genre, which means they're going to seek out other titles that you have done. And I think that that's really important. I'm also looking at some of the comments in the chat, and I'm watching Paul Silver and Christian Carlson. They're having a little discussion about how they haven't found, or they don't believe they have found the genre that's best for them yet. But here's the thing: you keep auditioning, and then you see what you book. And if you have repeated bookings in a particular genre, it starts to make you think,
right.
is this my home? You know? Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I was going to say that too. I was going to ask you, what do you do when you don't have that genre? What, you do I did
Yeah, you
everything.
diversify.
And
You
you
try
do that
everything.
because you're trying to find maybe what you like, where you seem to get hired a lot at,
Mhm.
where, your voice ends up, it lands and things like that. And I think that, that can help a lot. I will say this, one thing I would tell myself if I started all over again would be, to look, that realize that what I'm building now you know, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, you know, they're like you got to think about now,
Yeah.
but you got to think about the long term.
Yeah.
Because if you really want to do this business, I mean, you really want to be a voice actor and you build
Mhm.
something sustainable, you have to
Yes.
build multiple streams of income.
It's any business. Yeah.
Right? And you know, so royalty income is an extremely important part
Yeah.
of doing this. And don't forget, you are not helpless once you publish an audiobook, meaning like it doesn't end there. You have all of your ability to market your work as well. You have your ability to create lists, or I mean email lists of people who are interested in audiobooks in your work and listening.
Mhm.
You have, there's so much you can do also to increase, because I thought early on, if I could figure out a way to not only do the books, which I was doing, but also market them and sell
Mhm.
them, I could be my
Mhm.
own machine,
Yes.
right? As opposed to, again, I always trying to, I hate to say it, cut out some sort of cog in the wheel
Right.
to make it easier. But like, you know, again, that, so I don't know. That's a discussion
Entrepreneurial
for another
spirit.
day.
Yeah.
Is there some, do you have a
Um,
question real quick here?
no, just people just kind of just commenting different things. Yes, Paul, your efforts have not gone unnoticed, believe me. And then Don Joseph, that is a refrigerator. Just so everybody's aware, that is a mini fridge. It is not, in fact, a
Is
working
that a mini
Marshall
fridge?
stack. Yes,
Really? I
it's a mini
thought it
fridge.
really was a
Nope,
Marshall
not a
speaker.
working stack. No, but I love the
Really?
damn thing. Yeah, it's a mini fridge. You can see the seam at the top.
Oh my God, that's
Yep, yep.
awesome.
All right, guys, that
Well,
about
hey,
does it for us for a
yep.
Monday.
Thank you guys so much for watching. So
Yeah.
remember, Angela's tomorrow, and we will be back on Wednesday.
Yep, yep.
All right, everybody, take it easy. Get over there to Academy
Bye.
Voices and VO Journey Academy. Talk to y'all later. Goodbye. Goodbye. See you later.